You don't give a fuck when you land or not, just let him go. Don't worry about it, you're gonna be a shitty fight, but you gotta let punches go. Last round. You can't wait until they get, if you miss it, bang, go right back. And don't take 30 seconds to start another punch.
Alexander, I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey, there's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw, there's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable.
I kept telling him he had no punch, he couldn't hit, he's swinging like a sissy, he's missing, let me see your box. I hadn't started damping yet. A tremendous sensational first round, and Hearns gets hurt. Hearns got stunned. Tackle was stunned early in the round. Great first round. Incredible. Perhaps one of the best in middleweight history.
That black guy, he hits hard.
Fire!
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Hands of Fire Boxing Talk. I'm your host, writer and reporter for RealCombatMedia.com, George Dampeer, and I'm joined by my fellow Ring IQ admins, Ibn Dawud.
Oh, man, what's up? 215, you already know.
And Julius Fox.
All right, what's good, y'all? We gonna talk some boxing right quick.
Oh, man, we got a loaded show. This is like a 5-layer, like, burrito here, like, mega stuffed.
We got the Hibachi grill right now with all these fights,
I mean,
man. This is a buffet.
It's oozing out the fucking tortilla type boxing action. Like, we got...
This is like when you leave the Hot Pocket in the microwave too long and the cheese come out. Yeah. A lot of fights this weekend.
It's like a big breast woman with her titties popping out of her turtleneck and shit type overload. I'm gonna lie. I took that from Dave Chappelle. I'm not even gonna take credit for that shit. Killing them softly. 2000. All right. So I mean, this show isn't even dedicated to one fight in particular because, like I said, there are so many fucking fights this week. I mean, well over 30 nation or globally. But we're gonna try to do a nice little hot shot, quick take session with all these fights. So we're gonna start it from the top, and I want to put them down into significant order. But just it is for what it is. I probably actually, if anything, it's probably starting from the later fights. But let's jump right into it. Terrence Crawford versus John Molina will be taking place in Omaha, Nebraska. The hometown kid Terrence Crawford, live on HBO. This was, out of all the fights, this is kind of one that people forgot about, and I think maybe just for the reason that we kind of, and no disrespect to John Molina, who is a good friend of my friends here at Styles Make Fights. Shout out to Chris Alexander, who I'm sure got plenty Styles Make Fights gear on John Molina for this fight. I'm sure he's going to come out with some trunks and a nice T-shirt. Hook the brother up pretty good. So that's always good to have that representation. So, like, again, no disrespect to John Molina, but it's Terrence Crawford now. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, no disrespect to John Molina, but we know that it's not an insult or a slight at him to say, well, I got Crawford winning the fight, and, we know what kind of fight this is. I mean, John Molina's not going to outskill Terrence Crawford, needless to say. The most interesting part about this was actually Angel Garcia's banter, because, Danny was looking at Molina. He wanted to fight him, or at least he was one of the possibles, and Angel was like, well, how come it's okay for Crawford to fight Molina, but it's not okay for Danny to fight Molina? So that to me is the most compelling thing about this fight, because we know Crawford and Danny got some words for each other. You know what I mean?
And I personally can't wait for when that fight actually does take place, man, because, I think I've already made my statement as far as who I think would win among that fight, Terrence Crawford, but, I get the backlash for the fact that, Danny had beaten him in the amateurs before. But then again, didn't fucking Dylan White beat AJ in the amateurs? So
they beat each other. You got to remember, they won and one in the Amis. Crawford beat Danny beat Crawford. They never really, they ain't settled up that. So I guess they plan on doing that in the pros at some point because they 1-1 right now.
Well, I don't want to spend too much time on this fight, seeing that we kind of already agreed. And just to say what this type of fight was, because we're keeping track here of everybody's pick for each of these fights. We're going to play a little game here of just a nice pick 'em. And just like I said, what this type of fight is already, I already put Crawford across for all of our names for this one already. So this is the one that I could already had it made that seal. There's probably going to be another few on here that are like that as well. But that was just this one to start off with. But mainly what I wanted to talk about, at least with this fight, is I would think the real intrigue for this fight is Terrence Crawford's approach. And I mentioned that because in a Boxing Scene interview, Terrence Crawford had talked about, whether, I can outbox him if it comes to it. And, I don't think John Molina will actually try to box him. But he also said that, he'll brawl with him if it needs to, too. So he's whatever terrain it gets to, he's ready for. And seeing how this is going to be in front of in front of his hometown, I don't see why he doesn't show out and really does try to mix it up. I would think he would trust his own ability to go in there with the same approach he did with a Gamboa, So I think he kind of goes for it anyway. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he might try to show up and show out since he's in his hometown. But Crawford's a smart fighter, and he's not gonna do anything he doesn't need to do. You know what I mean? If he really doesn't need to show up and show out with Molina, which I doubt he would, because Molina doesn't have the skill set to be, at least I feel, he doesn't have the skill set to be very competitive. He's not going to outbox Terrence Crawford. He doesn't have the speed. It's just like, it's pretty obvious. That's why this fight to me was an afterthought in light of the other fights that are going on this weekend. I got Crawford winning this thing very easily. I'm not sure that he's going to need to show up and show out for John Molina.
No, but I got Bud either getting a stoppage, probably. Bud goes for the kill. He just boxes his way to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's not going to just come and just do whatever, but he's going to box. And if he see an opening, he will become more aggressive. And his goal ultimately is going to get him to stop the fight. I don't see nothing from John Molina is going to let me know or they're telling me that that's not what's going to happen. I'm looking for Bud probably to get like a late stoppage.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and
that sounds
and if Molina make it through, and if he make it through, I can't see him winning too many rounds. If it does get to 12, I got Bud down for outboxing for a majority of the fight. I do believe that Molina will fight back, and I respect
as best as he can, as best as he can. Because it's like he coming off that Provodnikov fight, right? And Molina won that fight off the jab, man. Because we know how Provo like to fight, but this is Terrence Crawford, man. This is terrible. Like, it's completely different. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so obvious. It goes without saying. You know what I mean? That's why my focus was the other fights. Parker, Ruiz, and them, and Joshua Molina. Those are the joints that really got me thinking.
Well, we're about to go on to that, but in closing, to go back to what Eben said, the thing what I like most about Terrence Crawford is like he's one of those guys where if you're not worthy of being in the ring with him as far as skill set, he's the type to get you the fuck up out of there. So that is true.
He will exploit the opening.
Yeah, he's not going to waste any time. So on this undercard, Ray Beltran versus Mason Menard will also be taking place on this undercard. No real interest in that, just to be honest. Sorry if that seems a little bit callous.
Yeah.
But anyway. But on the
words out my mouth.
Yeah, but delayed HBO viewing will be Joseph Parker, just like we mentioned, against Andy Ruiz. He'll be having that fight at the Vector Arena in Auckland, New Zealand.
That's the meat and potatoes, man.
This is a interesting fight. Joseph Parker, up and coming heavyweight for at least to be on the rise, to be at some point a potential foe with Anthony Joshua. He's definitely been making some noise. He'll be fighting Andy Ruiz, trained by our favorite big mouth trainer. Jesus Christ, his name didn't just slip my mind.
Brain fart.
No, Triple G's trainer.
Sanchez, man.
Yeah, there you go. Abel Sanchez. Thank you. Had a good jog. But here.
There go Abel with his shit.
Yeah, well, here's and it seems like he knows his place when it comes to the fighter. He's not talking as much shit with this one as he probably shouldn't, and wise enough not to. But Andy Ruiz, I wouldn't say is necessarily a certain cherry pick because we've seen some tape.
I mean, not at all.
The thing with Andy Ruiz is, and Julius, we talked about this, is he can definitely scrap, and this is definitely be a good. It has the potential to be a good fight. My only concern for Ruiz is for the heavyweight division, he doesn't pack too much of a punch. But I mean,
he really doesn't, and he cut weight too. If you guys seen the pictures, he lost a lot of weight in this camp, and I'm wondering what effect that's going to have on his power.
Well, I think that could possibly be a good thing because if he isn't going to have the power to match Parker, he's going to have to match it with with activity. So. I mean, maybe the weight loss was actually for that reason. So you say that actually kind of made me think a bit more positive for his chances in this fight. What do you think about this, Evan?
I'm rolling with Parker. I don't feel like Ruiz is a cherry pick. I actually think it's going to be like a tough test. Ain't Parker go to the body like I've seen him. He has a nice little body attack sometimes. I'm looking at his youth. I'm looking at where he's at in his career, and then I'm looking at Ruiz, and Ruiz ain't been looking on the up and up. So I'm leaning towards Parker. This is going to really let me know something about Parker. So I'm anxious to see this one in reference to AJ and the rest of the guys for him. So this is a good fight for him.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think it's definitely going to be a good fight for him. I'm gonna go out on a limb and pick Parker. So
we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of good things from Parker. If you paid attention to Parker's last 6 fights, it's really shown a lot of promise. Now I ain't gonna say that Andy Ruiz ain't got some good shit to him because he can scrap. He's got solid skills. He got real good hand speed, even for a guy his size. Because he's a little bit on the hefty side. He cut that weight, so he might even come into this fight faster than we've seen him. It all depends. But what we've seen thus far, Ruiz got some fast hands. He got decent pop, nice little left hook, nice body attack. And one thing he might do, which is part of the game plan that he divulged, he might actually go to the body on Parker and commit to the body. It being that Parker's the bigger man in the fight, I think Parker's 6'4", Ruiz is 6'2". So, it's things to look out for. You know what I'm saying? How's Joseph Parker going to deal with that? Because Joseph Parker also divulged that they sparred before. You know what I'm saying? And Ruiz went to the body on him in that sparring session, and he said he couldn't eat for 3 days off of that body attack that he got from Ruiz.
Oh.
Right. So it's some shit to this fight, man. I'm really looking forward to it because it's going to tell us something about either one of them.
Look, and just to be clear though, I did just pick Parker, but it should, like you were kind of alluding to, it's not. I think there's a good chance Parker doesn't look good in a victory in this. He could probably come out with some battle scars and probably some concerns as far as how he'll be able to handle the big man that we're about to talk about in this next fight, Anthony Joshua, who will be fighting Eric Molina, defending his IBF championship on Showtime in Manchester Arena, England. Guys, an ongoing debate with Anthony Joshua is basically him in comparison with Deontay Wilder. Now, I've feel like I've beaten this dead horse point here with the fact that here Anthony Joshua with, was it now 17, 18 fights?
This will be his 18th. He's 17-0 right now.
Yeah, so it'll be his 18th fight. Deontay Wilder with 37 fights. Essentially are facing the same caliber of opponents. Anthony Joshua with just half the fights. And clearly what this is going to be here with Eric Molina here is basically a barometer of how he does in compared to what Deontay Wilder did. Now, we know that Eric Molina is kind of famous out of that Wilder fight for getting Wilder in some trouble. Now, I think I think Joshua will win this fight. I'm picking him to win. I'm very intrigued to see how this really plays out. The chance that Joshua could get caught and with a decent shot or hurt possibly because while it was mentioned that in the Dylan White fight that he was hurt, I seen him get caught clean. I didn't see him like really stumble or anything, but they try to make hay out of that. I would think that would be more of a chance to see that in this fight. So I think he can.
It depends on how you look at the likelihood of that happening, though, because he had that success with Wilder, but we know that styles make fights. Wilder and Joshua, while they're both very strong punches, they pick their spots very differently. Wilder mixes it up a lot more than Joshua does, in a manner of speaking, and Wilder offers up holes in his game that give guys like Molina those opportunities. I think Joshua's going to sharpshoot Eric Molina. I think he's going to get him out of there in the 7th or before the 7th.
Ibn, before I get your take on this, I want to put the question out there: if Joshua handles Molina rather easily, below 7 rounds, where does that put him as far as in comparison to Deontay Wilder? Does that mean that he's now favored if they were to fight down within 2017?
You asking me my opinion, or you asking me what would the consensus opinion probably be? Because my opinion on Joshua versus Wilder right now, even if he was to win that fight, I would still pick Deontay Wilder right now, although I probably won't pick Deontay Wilder in a few years. I think that he's going to need some more experience before he hop in there with Wilder. Not saying Wilder is the most experienced guy, but Wilder is another type of beast. And Wilder has more experience on this level than him, even though you might put it in your mind and you might say, well, they're fighting the same level of guys. Well, Wilder, at this point, he's seen like a larger plethora of them, man. He's just seen more of them, and he's seen more of it, and he has more fights in real time, and he's just more prepared. And the things that he brings to the table, he do a lot of stuff wrong, but the stuff that he does right, AJ needs more time to prepare for. And, I think Eddie understands that, and I think you won't see the fight for a few years because of that. That's what I think.
That's true. That's actually true, man.
He wouldn't that next fight out. I still would have picked Wilder, but like I said, a couple years, I'd probably be like, man, I picked.
They already got a common opponent. Joshua fought. I think his last name is Gavin or something like that. He fought him for his 11th fight. Joshua got him out of there, I think, in 3 rounds, whereas Wilder made the guy quit on his stool in the 4th round. At the beginning of the 4th or something like that. So it's not like there's not a barometer already there. It's just that barometer don't answer a lot of questions. Molina's a lot more durable than that guy. So it's going to really give us a chance to see, well, how does the style play out? How does Joshua's style play out with Molina as opposed to how Wilder's style played out with Molina? Because Wilder was knocking him around all over the place, but Molina had some success because Wilder offered him up them openings. I think Joshua's going to pick this guy apart. You know what I'm saying? Joshua picks the spots real good. if you seen him in that Brazil fight, Brazil was like fucking. He like 6'8". He a long dude, man.
Yeah.
And AJ was beating the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? Molina ain't like 6'3", 6'4". We know Joshua got reach on him. We know Joshua. It's a safe bet that Joshua's the bigger puncher. So it's like I really don't see what Molina does that could give Joshua a problem. He's awkward, but that worked with Wilder. You know what I'm saying? That worked with him. I don't think that's going to work with Joshua.
Right.
And I think we're all. Go ahead.
Wilder's looking to keep you at his distance, and the awkward fighter looking to get in and disrupt is not going to look the same as a guy like Joshua. Because even though Joshua is taller and longer, but like you ain't going to want to like get up in him the same way that you would want to get up in Deontay Wilder. That ain't safe. So styles make fights, and you know we're going to see. Like I said, like every fight for AJ is like a build-up to that next level, and that's how I feel about it. I just feel like he just got the belt too soon, but we still watching a bit of a bring-along process. So I'm patient with him. You know, I'm patient with him, and I'm a fan. And even though he got a belt, and I know they're going to knock on his door, and when they knock on his door, I expect them to answer in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But with that being said, I know that I'm watching a bring-along process. I'm not going to forget that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean... Look at them guys. Brazil, you know what I'm saying? Molina, you know what I'm saying? But we do got to keep in mind, though, that even though he in the bring-along process, and we ain't going to talk about it too much. You know, Klitschko's supposed to be next, so it's a lot of shit to think about when it comes to Joshua, man. It's a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean, and I think mainly what everybody's looking forward to here is just the performance that he puts on. You know, if he can really show out, then you know, he's really only it's a snowballing effect, really. I mean, and he really just turned into an avalanche at some point. If he can really get over the top like that, and Jesus Christ, imagine if he beats Vladimir Klitschko after this. I mean, like
that's scary to think about, man.
The thing about it is with Willad is props to Willad, man. The thing about Willad is when I looked at the Fury fight, it seemed like he had a problem pulling that trigger. And is it gone, or did Fury just outsmart him?
I think it was more. I think it was more of the elusive target that he had to deal with, and which he really the fact he had to deal with.
He was complacent in that fight. He was just complacent. He said it himself. He was scared to pull the trigger. He's been defending for so long that he forgot how to beat the man across the ring. He knows what he did wrong. And for all intents and purposes, I think he would have beat Fury in a rematch. I think he would have. And I think that losing that fight might have been a good thing for Vladimir and for his dedication.
Yeah, you're probably right. Let's go down this undercard for this, which, I mean, Eddie Hearn, again, I think he's got to get promoter of the year, who just continues to put on these loaded cards.
He's the promoter of the year. He's the promoter of the year because he got Brooke GGG done in like 48 hours and shit. And Kell Brook is the same bull that wasn't even really trying to fight Devin Alexander. So
real shit.
Eddie makes it happen, dog. Like Eddie makes it happen, dog.
He's the magic man.
In the ring, like he be making
word though,
man. I like that guy.
He's about to be right back in. We just seen him, man. We just seen him.
Yeah,
we just seen him.
Listen.
And
we're gonna do a little.
They put him right back out there.
We're gonna do a little rundown.
That's how you gotta do it.
We're gonna do a little rundown of these of this undercard because some of these are kind of like just no guessers. But I guess I have to talk about this fight. I really don't give a shit about this fight. I feel like it's just a bunch of hoopla for a bunch of fucking attention.
You talking about the duck?
Dylan White versus Derek Chisora, which was possibly had the chances to be off, but it has now been resumed now through a bunch of antics from Derek Chisora.
I hope Dylan White wins.
That's what I'm saying. Dylan White is good for the division, man. He good for the division. And Chisora best years behind him.
Listen, let
always doing something that don't.
Yeah.
He's always doing something.
That's what I'm saying.
He's always like trying to sucker punch somebody at the weigh-in. Like he's always doing something. I just want him to just get beat up for being unruly. Why'd you throw that table? You could have carried yourself better than that, mate. Come on, mate.
It's
and you just being on tables, and I hope you get whipped for throwing that table, mate. I hope somebody will.
See, but here, listen.
I got Dylan White, man.
This is why I talk. I'm saying like I don't really care, is because while that was expected to happen, I think most people were picking Dillian White to win this. It was just the circus act leading into it. Like you said, man.
Right.
Like Derek Chisora is really like boxing's fuckboy. Of just really just don't know, hard-headed ass kid.
I thought Mayorga was bad, but like Mayorga can have like self-control sometimes. Like he's always doing something, man. He just need to get beat up for doing that. He's doing table at somebody.
He's been beat up by the who's who of the heavyweight. Hayden beat him. Klitschko done beat him. Pulev done beat him. Hellenius done beat him. Dylan White gonna beat him. That's how I look at that. That's just another motherfucker that's gonna beat him.
I hope so.
Well, all right.
Yeah, let's go. What's next, George?
Like I said, I didn't want to spend too much time on it. I don't give a fuck about it, honestly. But this one, I think this is probably the fight of the card here, is Luis Concepcion against Khalid Yaffe for the WBA junior bantamweight title. Jesus Christ, I don't even know who to pick, to be honest with you. Concepcion, who's, I would say a pretty sturdy veteran at this point, always down for a good scrap. And Khalid Yaffe, who is, for people who don't know, I advise you to just look at a brief 2-minute highlight video of this kid. Our friend Glenn Rogers, is really high on this guy, and so I had to see what he was talking about.
You can see why, though.
Yeah.
You can see why. He got speed, he got pop, he got angles, he got footwork, he got head movement. Like, I like the kid. I feel okay picking him to win.
Well, you know what? Go ahead, Ibn. I'm gonna make my pick as as you go.
Pick is listen. First of all, I'm gonna keep it real because I'm not too casual, so I don't gotta lie like I'm fighters because I hadn't even seen much for real. Y'all just put me on, but I'm picking the Pakistani guy because he's like a mix of Khan mixed with I don't even know, but I'm going to that and I'm gonna do some more homework leading up to the fight, and then tomorrow on the page, I'll probably make a video and get deeper into it. But I just for real, because there's so much boxing happening this weekend, man. There's probably more people than them two fighting that a guy that's finally getting a chance that I don't even know yet. So
yeah, sorry, we had a little weird malfunction there, but so I think, who is it, Julian? You picked Yaffe. I'm going with Yaffe. Ibn's just gonna go along with us.
I'm rocking with y'all. I ain't just going along with you. I'm rocking with you. This is different. A pick and a rock with is different. Right. Listen, a pick and a rock with is different. I can rock with because I like something I think you doing, but that don't mean that I picked you because I didn't pick nobody because I couldn't really pick against the other guy. I didn't know enough about him to pick against him. You see what I'm saying? I don't make picks and just get emotional and just When you say I'm making a pick, that means that I looked at both them fighters, I evaluated them, and I think this one will win for this reason. I can't say that in this fight. That's why I can't make a pick. I think it. I think Yaffe going to continue to impress because he impressed me. You know what I'm saying? That's saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot working for him. So I feel okay picking him to win the fight.
Well, these few fights should ease your mind because I'm just gonna do a rundown of the following cards. It's not even really worth bothering to make a pick. But there's also Callum Smith against Luke Blackledge, Scott Quigg versus Jose Cayetano, and Luis Ortiz. Long time no see. What was the last time we seen him? Was it about a month ago that we saw him at in Monaco? He'll be facing Dave Allen. So that's pretty much the England card that you could pretty much count on the
Dave
afternoon.
Allen. Who's Dave Allen? He is 9-1, dog. 9-1. He already. Yeah, I don't even know.
He is just a pork chop they threw in there for Ortiz to keep. Eddie Hearn got the right idea. Keep him to look good. Fighting. Yeah, that's all. And I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him because
he just fought like 3 weeks ago. You can't tell me that.
That's what I'm saying. Like Rigo need to take a page from what Ortiz is doing. Like, yo, just beat somebody up. We really just want to see you beat the shit out of somebody more than once a year. That's all.
Exactly.
Beat the shit out of somebody, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well,
I know Ortiz, he just doubled up on the payday too, because it's like he getting 2 paydays real fast with like a what and some change. That's great.
Yeah, we gotta love it.
Man.
That's old timer for
Eddie
you.
Hearn, man. He make things happen, man. He make things happen.
Magic.
Yeah. That's some Sugar Ray Robinson stuff.
Hell yeah.
He fought at like 5 weeks like Sugar Ray Robinson. That's crazy.
All right, so here's some more challenging fights for you guys. Well, maybe not the main event for this. USC Gallon Center hosted in Los Angeles, California, where Jesus Cuellar will be facing Abner Mares for the WBA regular title. Pretty, like I said, this one isn't too hard. I'm going with Cuellar here. Abner Mares for me is, well, he's still a decent fighter, but just damaged goods at this point.
Yeah. I think we agree across the board when it comes to that.
Yeah, so we'll not spend much time on that. But the more fun fight to analyze is, I guess, the co-main event, Jamal Charlo versus Julian J-Rock Williams for the IBF junior middleweight title. Guys,
this is tough, man. This is tough.
This is. I'll start out first, because I have no shame going with my heart at times, because sometimes when it pays off, it's that much sweeter, Gotta love it. So, but I mean, and even with when I say that I'm going with my heart, I mean I just look at the face of what the fighters do well, and for me, J-Rock is just the sharper, more precise, and better boxer. Yeah. And for most cases, with any even out fight, that usually tends to be the edge in most of the winners for those type of bouts.
He's a little quicker too. He's a little quicker, a little sharper. Charlo's stronger, but he's a little quicker and a little bit sharper. J-Rock, he does everything well. Like I was telling you guys earlier, of course I'm rocking with him, but I'm picking him. But the thing about it is, I can't really come up with in my mind what the game plan would be. Usually I'm pretty good at looking at a fight and saying, well, they probably going to approach this guy this way, and they're going to try this, and they're going to try that. I don't really know where J-Rock and them going to go with this one. But like I said, he's one of those guys that's like a jack of all trades in there, and nothing he does stands out from the rest of his skill set, but he's pretty good at everything. He's just a well-rounded fighter. Mm-hmm. I think he wants it more. I know that. I know through people that I know, because I know some people that deal with him personally, and he lives the fighter lifestyle. He's focused, and he's been dedicated to his training for this training camp. Guy down at my gym, Elijah Vines, shout out to Eli, but Eli had actually boxed him a few times in preparation for this fight. And, everybody from the home gym, they say that he looked good, man. And, they got faith in him being able to bring that IBF back. So I'm going to rock with him, man, and prayer.
I'm hoping to get it, man.
Yeah,
I'm hoping to get it, because it's too many guys at 154 that we know ain't going to fight each other. Charlo ain't going to fight
J-Rock is going to fight. If J-Rock wins that belt, he'll unify against Lara and all that. He'll fight He'll fight Boo-Boo and all that. That's what I'm saying. There's too many guys holding titles up. Lara ain't gonna fight either one of the Charlos, and either one of the Charlos ain't gonna fight each other. They ain't gonna fight him. It's like, come on, man. I'm hoping, I'm rooting for J-Rock to take that motherfucking belt. Take that shit, man. Mix it up. It's like when you go to a party and everybody playing the wall, nobody want to dance. That's what this shit is. Like, it's talent at 154. But them boys ain't gonna fight each other. So it's like, come on, man. Somebody got to unify. Take that title, man. You know what I'm saying? Take that shit.
Eben, you were reluctant to, I guess, speak on how J-Rock goes about this fight, and I personally mentioned
I really don't know. It's not even that I'm reluctant. Because when I look at Charlo, I don't see what's the first thing they going to go at and exploit. I don't know what they're going to
see.
You know what I'm saying? Because of J-Rock not really standing out with none of his skills and him just being like very good at everything, I don't know what's the first thing they're going to go to try to. What's the first advantage they think that they have? I don't know.
I would think
I know that they will probably feel that they're quicker and sharper.
I would think he tries to box him for a good few rounds. I mean, that's what, yeah. But it's going to be. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be a mixed effort. You know, more like a Andre Ward style of fighting where he's in and out, but still boxing in a way, and whatever he. Basically, to exploit whatever he can, because I feel like you said, he can't stay inside too long, but it's not. But he shouldn't shy away from it though.
Right. He's Charlo. I would wager that Charlo's the bigger puncher out of them two. Charlo's the bigger puncher. We know he's the longer fighter, but I feel like J-Rock gonna be the busier guy. You know what I'm saying? He got that speed on his side. He's a littler guy. He can get in and out. I feel like he's just going to try to tag him up, use the speed to his advantage. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, this is Jamal. For those of y'all that can't distinguish, Jamal is the better fighter out of both Charlos. He's the one that just coming off a beating throat.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's tough when you thinking like, it's not like Jamal is a slouch. You know what I'm saying? He's not a slouch. He could crack. If you go back and watch that Trout fight, he caught Trout with some shape. So... that's what makes this tough to edge. If it was Jamel, I'd give it to J-Rock easy. But it's like, it's tough. It's tough.
Hey,
gotta use that speed, man.
Hey, man.
Gotta use that speed.
It's this tough, man. Just go with your heart, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I feel good.
Man, listen, man.
I feel good. They'll feel that much better.
I'm just hoping that, Julian Williams gets that title. Mix it up, man. Shake the bowl up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? 2 Charlos holding titles, that shit ain't fair, man. Get one of them shits away.
Yeah.
Because they're not going, it's not, you know what it is? Forget the fair, unfair. They're not going to fight each other, and they're not going to fight Larry, and Larry not going to get belts. Yeah. That's the real problem. That's the real problem with them two having belts. Because that means you got 3 champions that probably won't fight each other, that we know that, like, recently ain't going to fight each other.
Yeah.
And what that means is there ain't going to be no standouts. And you could get mad at me, Evan, but I don't give a fuck. That means there ain't no standouts at 154. Till somebody unifies something, ain't no motherfucking standouts, man. I understand what you said. I understand what you're saying, but the thing about it is, Lara been up in there and doing his thing in that division before all of those guys, before you even mention against guys coming off of losses, man. Guys coming off of losses. I'm not, Julius, I don't care how much you don't like that boy. I am not going to do that to him. I am not. I'm not going to do that. You're not going to get me to do that because that's wrong. Now, what I will say is this. I will say this, though. He always said something. And then he just came back, and this opponent he came back with is like, what the hell are you doing? But the thing about it is this, too. Boo Boo, I just heard Boo Boo ain't trying to get this work. You got Canelo. Canelo ain't trying to get this work again. You already know that because he got out of that by the his. Joker ain't trying to get this work with Lara. So when I look at Lara is a victim of what I feel sometimes that the Cuban fighter can fall a victim to. And it's like being too good for your own good in a certain type of way. Man, I don't want to fight him. Listen, the other thing, now you good for your own good.
Guys.
Wait. Guys that's coming off a loss. Boo Boo was talking all that trash, but now when it comes down to it, Boo Boo don't want to fight. You too good for your own good.
Wait.
You beat him before the amateurs. He know what's up.
Guys.
Come on, man, get out of here.
Guys.
Austin Trout. Coming off the Canelo launch.
Yeah,
motherfucking Paul Williams coming off the Sergio Martinez. It's like Lara's biggest wins are compromised fighters, man. Compromised fighters. Because they don't fight them until they compromise, dude.
Guys, you gotta relax. This is a pick'em. This is a pick'em episode, man. This ain't
even that. We are fucking Lara, man.
Look, it's Lara.
You see what happens when you bring up Lara? When it comes to Lara, listen. Just listen to what I'm trying to say, and then tell me I'm wrong, and then prove me if this when I'm wrong.
Or we have to move on after that.
They don't fight them until they compromise.
Well,
Because they don't have to. How many times we got to discuss this? You don't got to go through that guy to get where you're trying to go, and he might beat you, so why fight him? This is what they say. You're too good for your own good when they treat you like that.
well,
That's what
like, speaking.
And I'm going to be the first to say it. Georgie, you heard me say this shit. I'm going to say it again. Larry's one dimension, man. He only know how to fight one way. Yes, I knew that shit was going to get you. I knew it. Like, he's one dimensional. You can't fight on the inside. You can't fight mid-range.
Guys, wait, Julius, wait.
You only fight one way against everybody you fight, and that's why you are where you are today. One dimension.
Well, Julius just dropped a huge debate bomb that clearly I have to move on now because that's a trigger for a huge discussion that we should do a podcast on by itself.
Yes, we should. We're going to do a whole podcast on Cuban fighters.
Yeah.
Because we ain't going to keep doing this. No, Larry deserves his own podcast. Is his ass. He deserves his own podcast.
Speaking.
Listen, I'm put it like this. Right now, in that 154 division, let's just put it like this, right? Who rushing to fight Larry? Who want to fight him? It's a lot of reasons motherfuckers don't fight Larry, man.
Guys,
no, I agree with you to an extent.
Guys, we gotta move on. Guys, we gotta move.
We gonna move on from this.
Yeah,
we
gotta move on.
That's all I'm gonna say.
We gotta move on. My laptop's dying, so we gotta get this done. So, final thoughts. Just because I really wanted to get to this Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight. Fighting Dominic Bish, please. In Monterrey, Mexico. This is going to be on BN Sport, the soccer channel. That's where I usually watch my Barcelona games at. And I mean, he looked okay. I mean, obviously, this is going to be another new division it seems like he was. I guess he was so hung up on trying to make history at cruiserweight for like a Mexican or whatever, and now he's going on to do bigger things at light heavyweight because he was so unmatched at cruiserweight. So guys, I guess all I'm gonna ask here is, where do you expect out of Chavez Jr. in this fight? Anything at all? Or?
It's Chavez Jr., dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember not too long ago, Freddie, I think it was Roach, he said he couldn't even keep him in the goddamn gym. Any expectations I had about I don't have any. Matter of fact, I don't have expectations of Chavez. You want to have a fight? Have a fight. I don't give a fuck. It's Chavez, man. If you don't give a fuck, why should I?
Evan? Evan there?
I think they've been having some technical difficulties.
Oh, no. I think he might have dropped off. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, otherwise there was Cotto Kirkland that was announced earlier today or late last night. Two inactive fighters, both are coming off Canelo fights. Cotto, who, of course, fought his fight with Canelo last year around this time. Was it late November?
Yeah.
After
November 21st.
Was it a split decision loss or was it unanimous? It was probably unanimous if it was, under a Golden Boy card.
Yeah.
Most likely. But, I mean, it's a shame because these are two inactive fighters here and it's obviously going to go to pay-per-view, which is gutting for fans, really. It's like who wants to pay to see guys who haven't fought in over a year at this point?
Career-wise, you really can't get mad. I can't get mad at Cotto for fighting this guy because he's been on the couch and Kirkland's been on the couch. So it's like, I understand it. You know what I mean? Like, I understand it. Like, it's okay to, you having a tune-up, you've been on the couch all year, you ain't fought nobody. I dig it. But a pay-per-view, dog, this ought to be a freebie.
Yeah.
Real shit. Like,
and I think it's under a contract that Cotto has with Rock Nation, which is kind of messed up. But it was it's guaranteed that he gets, $10 million for this fight.
$10 million to fight James fucking Kirkland, man. Jesus, Cotto.
Yeah, and that was part of his contract.
How you bet that shit?
Yeah, no, it sounds like living a dream. Honestly, you think about that, man. Like, I wish I could just chill, make a 10 mil off a guy that's just as inactive but is epically known to be inactive. That's truly the dream.
So you got in Wolf back in his corner, so I guess that might make it interesting.
That that actually does.
I don't know.
That does spark my
if
interest.
the damage is done to him. Every time he leaves and he get beat. And something tells me that the reason why he leaves and is because he don't like that and pushes him, but he needs to be pushed in that way.
Exactly.
So I'm skeptical of fighters who run away from the hard work when they need it. And after that Canelo John, I don't know if it's going to be the same again. Cotto at the same time ain't been fighting, and I don't even really know how to gauge this fight because of that. Yeah, it seems like neither one of them wasn't doing it. I don't really have a good frame of reference for either one because the way is.
You know what's crazy? Think about this. With a Ann Wolf in his corner, Cotto could lose. But we'll have to see how things pan out. I mean, both these guys, like I mentioned, are well past about a year and a half. Or at least approaching about a year and a half of inactivity. But, we'll see how it looks out, I guess, toward the closer it gets to the fight. But that's going to wrap things up. On behalf of myself, Julius, and Ibn, we're out of here. Keep your hands up. Peace.